Hello again, YouTube. Truth Man here. So I'm getting back to content by request, and I'm actually going to combine two requests into one because they were similar. One made by Charisma 808. He wanted me to talk about some of these women ways in connection to Jezebel, so on and so forth. And Khalid Muhammad as well wanted me to kind of elaborate on something similar, the same. So we're going to look up some definitions. We're going to talk about this, and then we're going to come back later on with probably one more video. So, when you discuss Jezebel, you have to understand what a whore is. You have to understand what a whoremonger is. King Ahab was what's called a whoremonger. The Bible says that whoremongers and adulterers God will judge, right? Now, it also says that rebellion is as the sin of witchcraft. So rebellion can be many different things. Rebellion is also anything that the Most High established and you go against it. It's rebellion. So the definition of whoremonger is someone who consorts with prostitutes, a leecher, or panderer. Now let's look up some of these definitions. That's what it says a whoremonger is. So let's look up definition of leecher. Lecher. Let's look that up first. Definition of a leecher. Watch this. This is some, pay attention. A leecher is, what does it mean to be called a leecher? A man given to excessive sexual indulgence. A lascivious or licentious man. But of course, and this is how it sounds.
Lecher.
I guess I was saying it wrong. So we have a lot of lechers on YouTube. Now, don't get it twisted though. Let's look at the rest of this definition. Let's look up whoremonger. Someone who consorts with prostitutes.
Or whoremonger.
A lecher, which we already described, or panderer. So when you pander, you're guilty of whoremongering. When you tell people body count doesn't matter and picking a wife, you whoremonger. Because a panderer is a whoremonger. Now, let's look it up. Let's look up the definition of consort. Definition of consort. And then I'm going to tie in like what Charisma 808 was asking me about in terms of myself. Definition of consort. And I'm going to show you where Jezebel plays in and how some women in the past have demonstrated Jezebellic behavior against me. Now, consort, a wife, husband, or companion, in particular the spouse of a reigning monarch. So it's saying the person who consorts with prostitutes. Now let's look up definition of panderer. Y'all know I coined the phrase pander bear. You hearing it, but you got it. They got it from me. You know, and that's cool. But don't try to act like you coming up with this stuff. Definition of pander. Gratify or indulge, desire, need, or habit, or a person with such a desire. So it's basically saying that when you tell them, hey, ain't nothing wrong with you, it's okay. So like the dude that got on there talking about guys dying alone. using female talking points that females brought out on TikTok, so on and so forth. That's called pandering. Now, I showed you what a lecher is. Now, how does Jezebel factor into this? Okay. Jezebel symbolically is the op and the enemy of the prophetic, of the prophet, right? So if you have any type of godly understanding about anything, whether you're a godly man or not, Jezebel is going to try to come and destroy that understanding, that philosophy, that premise. Jezebel and King Ahab. King Ahab is, like the definition say, a lecher. But he's also a consort. He's also a panderer, one who consorts with prostitutes. So biblically, it's not even righteous for you to marry those type of women. It's just not. You know, it's not the biggest sin, but it's not righteous for a man to marry those type of women. Now, I don't know why this person came and parked right next to me. I think people be trying to hear your conversation. But, because this is a whole empty parking lot. Now, when Jezebel was getting ready to have the prophecy of her death fulfilled, she put on makeup and tried to seduce Jehu, even though she was married to King Ahab. So women, when they commit adultery, they are behaving in a Jezebellic fashion. When women try to control how a man thinks, what he looks at, they are conducting themselves in a Jezebellic fashion. Now, Jezebel, the Bible says, seduce the servants to commit sexual immorality. Now, sexual immorality is when you have sexual relations with people. It's not what you think, it's what you do, that are outside of what the Most High permits. So if you're a man sleeping with another man's wife, it takes a Jezebel to engage in that activity. You see how Jezebel was. Jezebel tried to seduce the prophet even though she was married to King Ahab. To save her own life, and Jehu told them, man, throw her down here. And they threw her out the window, just as he said, just as the prophecy said. Now, women, when they try to control men, that's Jezebel. When they try to lead men, that's Jezebel. I don't care what American society say. You being like Jezebel. Now you say, but you make more money, this, that, and the other. Okay. Now, again, there's levels to this. The whoremonger is the guy who makes women feel special, compensates them, or some other method of behavior that would say to them, what you do is perfectly fine. Thanks for this, thanks for that. A consort of prostitutes. It says that a lecturer is a lascivious or a licentious man. So you hear these guys that this applies to say things such as, or that would imply that they ain't with God like that. And listen, the Most High don't need any of us. If people choose not to be with him, that's fine. He'll come back. He'll get back to them later. Now, y'all know, again, it's another side to this. You don't condone and promote the behavior of 304s and prostitutes, this, that, and the other. But you don't force men to appear or to believe that they are righteous to marry these type either. Because if you marry this type of woman, yeah, you being a man, okay, you chose her as a wife, but you gonna put yourself in the possible position just like King Ahab. I'm sure Jezebel was doing what she was doing before she married King Ahab, which would make him a whoremonger because he promoted a whore. Now, women in my past, they've got me to the point where I just say, I'm just gonna quit. In jobs, I don't get fired from jobs, but they done caused me to want to quit just so I wouldn't have to deal with them. Just like Jezebel was chasing Elijah, the prophet, through the woods. Jezebels don't like prophets. Jezebels want to kill prophets. They want to kill their influence. They'll gossip against the prophetic. So these are the women that, even though what we say in this red pill space is the truth, they speak against it. They hurl insults, so on and so forth. Because they are Jezebel. They want to rule the kingdom even though they are not kings. The position of queen is not enough for them. Eve was acting like a Jezebel before Jezebel. And some legends say that Lilith was as well. So when women break up with men, like it's impossible for a man. The only way it's kind of like cheating is if he lies and says that's not what he's doing. But it's nearly impossible for a man to cheat on a woman. The only way it's even considered cheating is him trying to appear to be a different way. But a man who understands what polygyny is and understands that that's what the Bible patriarchs did, how is it cheating? But to Jezebel, it's cheating because for a man to have multiple concubines or wives, Jezebel desires power. So that's going to take away the power that a Jezebellic woman desires. See? So, like Khalid Muhammad was saying, a lot of these women, they'll only deal, paraphrasing what he said, they'll only deal with a man when they're down. And a lot of the same ones, they won't help that man if he's down and they're up. But they'll deal with the man when they're down. Case in point, we see it all over YouTube. Women who talking about how much the man needs to make, but then these same women say how much, or they say that you should accept them for how they are, right? But then they come on here talking about how tall a man got to be, how much money he got to make, but it's okay for them to do it. It's bad, it's a problem when you do it though. If you start saying, my woman got, like somebody said that Finesse 2-time with body shaming when he said he can't do nothing with no skinny 304. But they can tell us that we out of shape and we this, we that. And what was funny is when I had that thing with Mr. Let Go, he had on the girl one country Cookie, who Anton already exposed, talking about how she got stretch marks and she big and this, and she said that I was overweight. See, she was overweight talking about how I was overweight. So what she was saying, and just like that whole thing, men can have Mr. Let Go is a whoremonger. He is. He be smashing those women. He be making them women. He separates himself from the manosphere, which makes him a panderer. Any YouTuber, I don't care who you are, if you try to separate yourself from what we saying in this space in terms of dating and relationships, you're a whoremonger. Stop talking. Shut up. Go talk about celebrities or something. If you saying the red pill is toxic, how is it toxic? You know why y'all think it's toxic? Because y'all putting the people that are toxic, y'all trying to equate them and put them as red pill. I told y'all once before. Myron, the Tates, Fresh, these are not red pill people. Look at the movie The Matrix. They rode the wave. That's all it was. The wave of money. This is the main problem people is having. So this is the main thing they want to hear about. And they rode the wave. Neither one of them ain't never been married. They said the longest relationship Myron had was 3 years. Donovan Sharp talked all that stuff about single mothers and then married exactly what he condemned. And still condemning. The man is a grifter for real. Out of all the grifters that I see talking about this stuff, Donovan Sharp is the number one. He's the champ. He has the heavyweight championship of grifting. Now, there's many contenders, Fresh and Fit, the Tates, many contenders, Anton Daniels. But Donovan Sharp is the champ. And he's undisputed. Because he went against everything that he had been saying for years in one relationship. All it took, he couldn't wait to sink his teeth into somebody white too. Which I'm not condemning that. But if you look at Donovan Sharp, his mannerism, the way he talks, stuff like that, that's Uncle Ruckus. That's Sambo. Donovan Sharp, I can't even see him going against white people in anything. No matter what they do, it's going to be all right with him. As we saw with Pearlie. Pearlie is another example of Jezebel. She talks like a prophetess, but she acts like a 304, like a person who hates God, like a person that's racist. That's Jezebel embodied. That's one of the embodiments of Jezebel on YouTube is just Pearlie things. Soon as the heat got on them, she tried to kill the prophets. Sarah Garvey. Soon as the heat got on her, she talked favorably towards the ones she thought was prophets, just like Jezebel. And then she tried to chase the real prophets out of town, striking people videos. See? That's how it be. Emotional affairs are Jezebellic. You know, this is one of the things I learned. Stay away from women that are having marital problems. Because you just going to end up like, man, I should have never even engaged that conversation. You going to feel stupid and goofy. Stay out of that. Don't become somebody's emotional affair. Because it's not going to end well. Because and here's another thing that happens. They get the attention they want from you. They get some more attention from this other person. And then they get more attention from the other person. And all three of y'all speaking on their situation. I don't think you should, blah, 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 blah. And putting them in your business. You telling them your business. And then you be like, man, I should have never told that person my business. When the very fact, if a woman says this, he's boring, we don't do nothing, he don't do what he used to do to get me. That's Jezebellic. That's Jezebel. Because the next thing they gonna say, ask them about submitting to a man. They're going to say, I don't believe I should have to submit to a man, or I'm not. Or the ones that's a little more crafty, they'll say, I'll submit, but not to him. They won't submit to the guy that's providing for them. And submitting means sometimes if he wants to do something that's not what you want to do, you let him do what he want to do. And you just stay on the boat. But they say, oh, he boring. So now you trying to talk to every dude you can think of. Every dude from your past. Instead of going to your husband saying, you know what, I was wrong. I got selfish. I'm sorry. Let's try to do better. They'll bash him, plan behind his back to leave him. That kind of stuff. Emotional affairs are Jezebellic. You shouldn't even been talking to them other dudes. And Jezebel not only believes she could do whatever she wants, she believes that you have to do what she wants. So, what is that? Control. And that's what that is. Jezebel wants to control you. So, this space is gonna be a problem for Jezebel. But the women that's more like Sarah, the women that's unicorns, the women who this don't apply to, they either not gonna respond, they not gonna watch, or they're gonna agree with us. It's the Jezebels that want to get on here and call you ugly. It's the Jezebels that want to get on here and say you don't know what you're talking about, who hurt you, and all this, all that. Because like Khalid Muhammad said, these women that act right while they need you. Sometimes when they had kids, them grown sons grow up, get to working and stuff. They love their mama. They'll do anything for their mama. They look at it like, I don't need you no more. So they start getting disrespectful. And they look at it like, okay, now is the time to replace him. Jezebel. And you guys, Coach Greg coined the son husbands. Your life is going to slip away from you trying to go against your father and trying to cater to you and revolving everything around your mother. Go get you some money. Go build your own life. You still could deal with your mother, but you need to be building your own life. Because what'll happen is, if the woman is Jezebellic, the husband have been on left and went and did his own thing, but she trying to keep you around. For you gonna take the cost up. So now, once she can't get money out of him, She gonna be getting money out of you. And you ain't gonna get nowhere financially dealing with a Jezebellic divorcee or a Jezebellic woman who ran the man off before he would marry her. You gonna be stuck footing the bill. When these women break up their families, this is what happens. The son is gonna be the husband until somebody else comes around. And then once the simp comes, she's gonna turn against the son. Just like she turned against the husband. That's what happened. That's why you guys don't ever go against your father. Don't ever believe one side of the story if you didn't see it all. Because trust me when I tell you, once she gets another man, especially if he looking at you in your 20s, you still at home, he gonna be like, why they still live here? They need to go get their own place. That's how it works. And she's gonna go against you for him, or she's gonna try to play both sides. Jezebel will break up the traditional family with her own selfish ambitions. Desire for attention, boredom. She'll break up her family because Jezebel is not going to be able to coexist in the same residence as any alpha male, any prophet. The only way Jezebel can make it is with a beta. She can't even make it with a sigma. Because a sigma is going to be in between, and this alpha side is going to make him leave. You see how that works? All of the things I'm telling you in this video is why don't focus on relationships, man. When it comes to relationship, you as men have to be selfish. Like, I ain't putting up with no extra stuff. I ain't putting up with no woman who do too much. Just for some sex? Believe me when I tell you. And I'm not condoning it. But believe me when I tell you, if you page through some garbage on the internet, you know what you like. You gonna find what you like and you gonna get your rocks off. Now, you want to do it God's way. But you don't, I'm gonna tell you something. It's worse for you to put up with a Jezebel to get sex than it is for you to jag off and leave Jezebel where she at. It's worse. There's degrees to this. There's layers to this. Trust me, man. I'm speaking nothing but wisdom. I'm giving it to y'all for free. Shout out to the people who have cashed at me. Shout out to the people who have super chatted me. I know I'm helping people. People escaping this matrix. Following a woman's lead, giving a woman too much credit and clout is matrix. Jezebel's supposed to be at odds with you. Jezebel ain't supposed to look at you as being no good man. Because once Jezebel take over, if she goes from unicorn to Jezebel, which happens, she is not supposed to see you as a good man. She's supposed to criticize you. But anyway, what time is it? Hope that helps both of y'all. These and voodoo, witchcraft, these women be knowing that stuff, y'all. So you better make sure you tapped in with the Most High. So the Most High, when he sees this, because he can see it from heaven, he'll block it and bring it up back on them for trying to do it. They know that witchcraft stuff, man. So you got to be careful with these women. They done try. I got on a woman trying to put some stuff because I don't agree with Tony Gaskins, who, by the way, remember when we read about whoremonger? Tony Gaskins, if you look at, you can't say all the stuff he said because sometimes he don't always talk about women. Sometimes he talk about other stuff. But when he talk about women, he be pandering. So do R.C. Blakes. So do, what's that other dude name? The angry, what's his name? It's a whole bunch of them on here be pandering, man. That's one thing I'll give kind of Donovan Sharp. Donovan Sharp might be a grifter, but he don't be pandering, though. At least not with the things he say. Like some of these other ones. But anyway, thanks for watching. Keep tuning in. This is The Truth Man. The channel is the No Matrix, No Simp, and All Subjects channel.